welcome to Wilkes Now. I'm Brianna Ebish.
And I'm Gracie Franco.
Let's take a look at what we have on today's show.
Hey y'all. Hey y'all, I'm Ariel Reed. Stay tuned to hear about nicer weather coming to the Wilkes-Barre area.
Hello everyone, I'm Sean Schmurray, the Assistant News Editor for The Beacon, and on today's Beacon Briefs, I'll tell you what's in the news this week. Don't forget that you can grab your own copy of The Beacon at any campus building. I'll have more coming up soon. See you in a few.
I'm Kirsten Peters.
And I'm Eric Bideman.
Today, Ben Mandel is going to sit down with men's ice hockey head coach Tyler Hines after the team propelled to 13th in the nation.
Then we have our usual Wilkes Athletic Rundown.
We'll see you back here soon for more.
So spring break is next week, and I'm really looking forward to going home and spending time with my friends, and just taking a break from school. Do you have any plans for the break?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually going on the Costa Rica trip for alternative spring break, so I'm super excited to go.
Wow.
I've never left the country before, so I'm excited to venture out and see a new place.
That's awesome. I'm really looking forward to hearing about it, and I hope you have a great time in Costa Rica. It sounds really cool.
Thank you. I'll be sure to send you pictures.
Great. Wilkes University Theater presents the award-winning musical The Spitfire Grill at 8 p.m. on Thursday, February 20th, Friday, February 21st, and Saturday, February 22nd, and 1 p.m. on Saturday, February 22nd, and Sunday, February 23rd at the Dorothy Dixon Dart Center for the Performing Arts. The production is directed by John Libertrow, Assistant Professor and Director of Theater. Based on the film, it follows the story of recently paroled convict Percy Talbot, who is looking for somewhere to start over, and Royal Gilead, Wisconsin seems just the place. General admission is $15. Students and seniors are $10. Admission is free for all Wilkes students with Wilkes University ID. Reserve tickets by calling 570-418-4540.
The Passon School of Nursing and the Red Cross will team up for a blood drive on campus from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. on Wednesday, February 19th in the Henry Student Center Lounge. Anyone who donates will receive a free Humankind t-shirt while supplies last. To sign up, go to www.redcrossblood.org and enter WilkesU to schedule your appointment. For those who are in need of community service hours, anyone who donates will receive 3 hours of community service. If you attempt to donate but cannot, you will receive 1 hour of community service. Questions, please contact julie.garrett@wilkes.edu or megan.boone@wilkes.edu. Now let's take a look at Parker's video game review of Parks and Play.
The Dark Souls series is notorious for 3 things: epic boss fights, obscene difficulty, and lots of dying. In fact, the first release of Dark Souls with the DLC expansion is called the Prepare to Die edition, and it doesn't get much more clear than that. Hello, I am Parker, and this is Park and Play. Today we're going to be looking at Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a third-person action role-playing game developed by From Software and published by Namco Bandai Games in September of 2011, with the remastered version being released in May of 2018. Dark Souls was released to near universal acclaim and won numerous Game of the Year awards and spawned 2 sequels. Dark Souls employs minimalistic storytelling to convey its plot and lore. Historical events in its world and their significance are often implicit or left to player interpretation, rather than being fully shown or explained. Most of the story is given to the player through dialogue from non-player characters within the game, flavor text from items, and world design. The opening cutscene establishes the premise of the game. Dragons once ruled the world, and in this period, a man known as Gwyn discovered the object known as the First Flame and discovers Lord Souls within. He and his allies use their newfound power to defeat the dragons, which then begins the Age of Fire. Over time, the flames begin to fade with the rise of humans, and Gwyn sacrifices himself to prolong the Age of Fire unnaturally. With the flame artificially rekindled, the undead curse begins to plague humanity, causing some humans to resurrect upon death constantly. The player character, that's right, you are one of these cursed undead, locked away in an undead asylum. After escaping the asylum, you travel to Lordrum, the city of the gods, to ring the bells of awakening, and then embark on your own quest to either relight or snuff out the First Flame. Along the way, you will travel many lands, fight numerous enemies, and make several friends along the way. A core mechanic of the game is exploration. Players are encouraged by the game to proceed with caution, learn from past mistakes, or find alternative areas to explore. Dark Souls takes place in a large and continuous open-world environment, connected through a central hub area. The player character can travel between areas and explore various paths at will, although prerequisites have to be met to unlock certain areas. A central element to the gameplay of Dark Souls is the bonfire. Bonfires are scattered throughout the world and serve as checkpoints for each level. By resting at a bonfire, the player character is healed to full and regains all of the healing charges of their Estus flask. They can also level up and perform other functions, such as attuning magic and repairing and upgrading equipment. However, resting at a bonfire respawns all the world's enemies except for bosses and friendly non-playable characters. Player characters' interactions within the world of Dark Souls includes a great deal of combat. Combat includes melee attacks, various forms of defensive maneuvering, and magical abilities. For melee attacks, players have a wide access of fantasy medieval-style weaponry, including swords, spears, maces, and imaginary fantasy weapons such as magical swords, huge great swords, and immense clubs and hammers. For defense, players have access to shields, armor, dodge rolling, and parrying. For magic, there's a wide variety of offensive and defensive abilities known as sorceries, miracles, and pyromancies. In Dark Souls, players do not use any form of mana as in most other fantasy RPGs. Instead, they gain a discrete number of uses for each attuned spell when resting at a bonfire. These various forms of combat all have trade-offs, variations, and in-game costs associated with them, and all of them can be buffed or altered in some fashion through leveling, blacksmithing, consumable items, magical rings, or new equipment. However, if there is a criticism to be made of the game, it's that it seems like the developers ran out of steam when designing the second half of the story. After defeating the Golden Duo in Anor Londo, often seen as the crescendo of the Dark Souls game, later levels seem to pale in comparison. This is especially egregious with the Demon Ruins Lost Izalith area, with numerous recycled enemies placed haphazardly across the area without as much care given as the earlier areas. In conclusion, many critics consider Dark Souls to be one of the best games ever made, and for good reason. Its depth of combat, intricate level design, and minimalistic world lore make it one of the most fun games I have personally ever played. The game was successful enough to spawn 2 sequels. Do I recommend it? Well, what do you think? Try it for yourself and let me know what you think. This has been Parker from Park and Play. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Parker. The Department of Public Safety requests your assistance in ensuring doors with swipe card readers aren't left propped open. Officers on patrol are noticing a trend in which these doors are being propped open with wedges and furniture. Not only does this compromise the safety and security of the room and those in it, but propping open the door burns out the card readers that communicate back to the Public Safety Office. Replacing these readers is very expensive. Access to rooms and buildings can be modified by contacting Lindy Moran at lindy.moran@wilkes.edu or calling extension 3817 during normal business hours. It's time to send it over to the Beacon office for a sneak preview of this week's issue of the Beacon with Sean.
Welcome to Beacon Briefs. I'm Sean Schmoyer, the Assistant News Editor for the Beacon here at Wilkes. Here's what's happening. 3 new minors are in the early discussion phases. These programs are Africana Studies, Film Studies, and Emergent and Game Technology. Africana Studies is an umbrella term for programs in higher education that study Africa, the African American experience, and other African diasporic communities around the world. Film Studies would look at the various ways of exploring the narrative, artistic, cultural, economic, and political implications of cinema. And finally, Emergent and Game Technology encompasses a wide variety of 2D and 3D interactive media and exposes students to programming, game design, production, animation, and storytelling. All 3 minors likely won't be adopted into the Wilkes curriculum for several years, as there are many steps required to adopt them. Science fiction author Alice Sola Kim visited campus on Wednesday to kick off the Allen Hamilton Dixon Spring Writers Series. Students were able to attend an afternoon workshop where Kim helped students work on writing against cliches in prose. Kim also attended a dinner with students and faculty, as well as read an excerpt from her first ever novel that she is still currently working on. The Allen Hamilton Dixon Spring Writers Series will continue on Wednesday, March 18th with the next author visit. In other news, Wilkes hosted its annual Vagina Monologues this past weekend in the Henry Student Center Ballroom. The event was a part of the Sardoni Art Gallery's Year of the Vote series, and 18 students, faculty, and staff were involved in the production. All the topics discussed were told through the eyes of women from various ages, races, sexualities, and other differences. All proceeds will be given to beneficiaries such as the Domestic Violence Resource Center, the Victims Resource Center, and Planned Parenthood Keystone. Thanks for checking in, guys. That's all I have for today. I'm Sean Schmoyer, and this is Beacon Briefs. Now let's get back to the studio.
Thanks, Sean. Wilkes Now will be right back after this public service announcement.
You recycle, right?
Yep, it's confusing. It's hard for all of us to recycle properly when it's this confusing. Yet recycling is the #1 thing we can do for the environment and the economy. If we do it properly, we have a solution. And it's working.
Standardized labels, they help people recycle more, and they help people recycle right. Let's recycle across America, and let's recycle right.
To be part of the standardized label solution, visit letsrecycleright.org.
Welcome back. Kappa Psi Pharmaceutical Fraternity is teaming up with the Love Your Melon to sell custom Wilkes beanies. Stop by their table in the Henry Student Center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The beanies are $30. Love Your Melon gives 50% of profits to the Love Your Melon Fund to support their nonprofit partners in the fight against pediatric cancer. For more information, you can email dana.miller1@wilkes.edu. Now let's send it to Jack to review this year's Oscar awards.
Hi, my name's Jack Moline, and this is Take It On. Today we will be talking about the Oscars, which were just held on February 9th this past Sunday. It was filled with a star-studded list of films, including Parasite, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But before I get into the nominations and the winners, I first need to start with this. When I first went to see the nominees, which I went on Twitter, like everybody else does, I saw that many people were upset that Uncut Gems was not nominated. And that, on top of that, Adam Sandler was not nominated for Best Actor. See, I agree with the Academy, because simply Uncut Gems did not create enough of a backstory for you to connect emotionally with Adam Sandler's character. On top of that, Adam Sandler simply has played the same role he's played throughout his life, which has been a lower level educated person who has found themselves in trouble. So I do not, and for these reasons, I do not think Adam Sandler or Uncut Gems should have been nominated for Academy Awards. With this, to get into the nominees and the winners, I bring in my boy, Larry Skartz. Larry, how you doing today?
Good, how are you? Good to see you,
Nice to
Jay.
see you. So first off,
Yes.
me and you, we snuggled up the other night.
Well, I wouldn't say snuggled.
Okay,
but
all right. Well, but we watched Parasite.
We
and
did.
honestly, I don't know about you, but I went in with 0 expectations.
Oh, everyone told me to do that.
And it blew my mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Blew my mind.
Absolutely.
There have been limited movies where the movie has ended and my jaw has dropped. And honestly, I couldn't go to bed for about 30 minutes because I was thinking so much about
I know
the
the
movie.
feeling. Oh, it was just nuts, like everything about it. And like, I just see why it won Best Picture. It made all
I
makes
really
sense.
do, and I don't even really want to go into it.
Yeah, because I just want the audience.
Because I want the audience
Right.
to take it in.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically the premise of the film, people, is that it's about family interacting within each other.
Right.
And then on top of that, just the struggle of 2 different families.
Right.
And it's just a story.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's a great story.
Yeah.
And it's a good combination of humor and horror.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Humor and horror, and I can't really, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. It swept too. Bong Joon-ho won Best Director, it won Best Original Screenplay, and it won Best Foreign Film on top of winning Best
Right.
Picture.
Obviously, yeah. for
Bong
sure.
Joon-ho, even after when he received Best Director, he was like, we won
Right.
Best International Film. I was ready to relax.
Right.
Like, he was done after that night,
Mhm.
so.
What's interesting though is how none of the actors or actresses got nominated.
I can't
for-
believe that.
Like especially the dad. I mean,
Especially
the
the father of the main family in the film.
Yep. I think he stole the show.
He was incredible.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
He stole the show. And the thing is, we can't even get into his character because
yeah,
people need to have their own interpretation of him.
Right.
And you can't really go into it with expectation specifically with his character.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I would say the best thing is to just experience it for yourself, and like everyone told me to do that, and it's just go watch it. It's nuts, and you'll see why it won, I think. So, but yeah.
Every day I wake up and I wish you were dead.
All right. Well.
Yeah. You want to get into Best Actor?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. So, Joaquin Phoenix, of course, won Best Actor for his role of Joker.
Right.
Which
well deserved.
Well deserved. For the fact that the movie was him. He was the movie.
Oh yeah.
He was the
whole
movie.
time.
There weren't really many supporting roles in the movie. He was the movie. And he captivated you in the entire time, each time he talked.
Oh, absolutely. He just completely dedicated himself to
each moment. Especially there are moments within in Joker where he's speaking to his counselor, psychiatrist.
Right.
And each one of those conversations within the movie, I think, are the most important, because each time he has that conversation, you see growth. You see the growth within him, and you see the manifestation of the struggle within him.
Oh, absolutely.
To honestly just be a good person.
Right.
In a world where, honestly, you need to look out for yourself, and where it comes down to, it's you.
Yeah. No, I would just say he completely, just totally dedicated himself to that film.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost over 50 pounds by just eating apples, lettuce, and green beans.
Yeah, I read that too. Yeah.
So which is nuts. I mean, every time he makes a movie or is in a movie, he just totally puts 100%, goes in 100%.
Yeah, I also don't want to shortlist Adam Driver, who I just quoted before from Marriage Story.
Yeah,
I think he did an excellent job within Marriage Story. Seeing that Marriage Story is Marriage Story is really a story about decisions in life, and that you're really not always going to make the right decisions, even with love.
Right. Yeah, and I think
it's okay for those decisions to happen, and for you to change, and for people to change.
Right.
And sometimes it really just sucks.
Yeah. No, I think a big message behind that movie is just like, if you're not happy with the current situation you're in, just to go out and like change and just do what you want to do. And,
and on top of that, I'd like to add to that choose what you want to do, and then don't let other people get in the way of that.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
There were two winners of the Oscars Sunday that had never won acting awards before. I don't know if you knew this.
I did not.
But Brad Pitt never had won an acting award before.
Really?
And he won Best Supporting Actor for his awesome role Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
He stole
the show. He stole the show. Once again,
he
stole the show. We said the same thing with The Father and Parasite. Once again, Brad Pitt stole the show. Simply because I think it was because his character had such a big role, to the point where you could have even argued if it was a supporting role at all.
Right.
And I think he was a good juxtaposition between Leonardo DiCaprio's role, because they were on such different sides. See, Leonardo DiCaprio's role was more of every time he talked, Brad Pitt's character would be like the opposite. It'd be like the happiness within him, and would light him up. And he was like the brighter side, because he actually knew what it meant to actually fail.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and it was cool just to see them go through that movie as best friends and whatnot. So.
Yeah, Laura Dern also won a big award as Best Supporting Actress also, and honestly, I hated her character in Marriage Story, because she was the divorce lawyer.
She was not the nicest lady.
But she did a really good job at what she did.
Right.
And
she played a good nasty woman.
She played a good nasty woman.
Is what I would say.
And then Renee Ziegweiler, which I might be possibly pronouncing wrong, but she also did a biographic on Judy Garland and won Best Actress for that and did a great job with that movie too.
I still need to see that one.
I still need to see that also. But anyway, Larry, I really appreciate you coming on the show and talking movies. It's something I love to do.
Thanks for
having me. And I hope you come
me.
on again.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Thank you. All right, we good?
Thanks, Jack. The Center for Career Development and Internships would like to inform you that Berkshire Hathaway Guard is hosting a job fair from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Thursday, February 27th at 39 Public Square in Wilkes-Barre. They have opportunities available for full-time, part-time, and internship positions. Now it's time to send it over to Ben as he interviews a men's ice hockey coach on their successful season.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ben Mandel, and I would like to welcome the head coach of our nationally ranked men's ice hockey team, Tyler Hines. Thanks for being here with us, Coach Hines.
Happy to be here.
So, last year's team had a lot of success and really opened the eyes for people outside of the program. This year, the team has taken another step forward. What has been the difference this year, you think, for the team?
I think a big part of it is going through last year and kind of seeing, how we do things here. Last year it was, from ground zero, had to build up. This year we came in with, a more established, mature program, and that's to be expected in the second year. But I think, the real difference has been the maturity from the group. The leadership has stepped up and done a good job. We have five captains and plenty of other leaders to go with that. So not just those guys doing a great job, but really the whole team holding each other accountable. And from day one, I think it's been an excited group. The vibe's been good. There's been a lot of energy, and happy to see that hasn't changed throughout the course of the season. Because as you know, it can, season can be long. It can wear on you, but to keep that energy every day, I think is the most important thing.
Yeah, so Donald Flynn really burst out onto the scene last year, and like the team, he's also improved this season. He's among some of the top players in the country in goals scored. What can be said about his growth as a player and why he's had so much success this season?
I think, he, really proud and happy for how he's doing this year. And I think we saw last year, the skill and the type of player that he is and can be here. And quite frankly, I don't even think we've seen the ceiling yet for what he can be. I mean, he's only a sophomore and already, in my eyes, the top player in the country, and in most people's eyes, at least in the top 5 conversation. So we've been really happy, impressed with him. Being more disciplined in the penalty department. He's done a great job there, and that's for a guy that other teams are every night in, night out, knowing they got to stop and get after, and probably takes a little more physicality than most guys do. But he's handled it really well, and as one of those 5 captains that I previously talked about, done a great job leading the way as well.
So you mentioned Flynn. He's a tough guy for teams to play. Like him, you have Nick Fia, Tyler Barrow. They've both also been very productive. All 3 players are the top 3 scorers in the UCHC. Mm-hmm. What do you think this does for other teams that are trying to game plan against you? Because now they have to look out for 3 stars instead of just 1.
Yeah, I think it definitely makes it tougher. And those are 3 guys with elite level skill. I mean, I think each of them brings something different to the table, and that's the unique thing. They don't all play the same way, and can say things about the jump that Nick and Tyler have taken, including Donnie. I think it's really exciting for the program. They get a lot of the attention and exposure, but I'd be remiss if we didn't mention the guys that help them get there, the guys that their line mates getting in on the forecheck. And Tyson Arujo is a guy who might not have the stats as some of those others, but does all the little things that help those guys click and help them go. So we take as much pride in that stuff and view that as being as important as putting up points and things like that. But can't say enough good things about those 3.
Yeah, so heading into this weekend, the team will finish out the regular season with road games against Nazareth and Utica, 2 tough competitors to close out this regular season. Well, your team previously had a 3rd period comeback against Nazareth to win in overtime, while the Colonels will face another tough team after in Utica, who handed one of your 2 conference losses.
Yep.
The second contest against each of these teams will be important for the UCHC seeding. How does the team plan to go after these two teams, specifically Utica, after the rough go the first time?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. This will have a lot of, affect the playoff seeding, and with the bye at stake, winning the league at stake, things like that. Important things, but I think the biggest being we can't look ahead, can't look past Nazareth, because that, really puts the onus and the pressure on the next night. I think, we've taken things day in, day out, one day at a time, one game at a time approach, and that's what we've had success with. So we'll keep that going, but I think Nazareth poses challenges. They have a great goalie and really well-coached, disciplined team, and Utica is just a deep, hard, tough team to play against, and they really took it to us in our building, and we're excited to get up there. That's a great crowd, great atmosphere, so that should be a really exciting way to finish out the regular season and set us on the right trajectory going into playoffs.
All right, so that's going to do it for the interview. Thanks for coming on with us, Coach.
Yeah.
Good luck wrapping up the season and heading into the playoffs.
Thanks, Ben.
I'm Ben Mandel. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Ben. Welcome to Sports Now. I'm Kirsty Peters.
And I'm Eric Beiteman.
Once again, men's ice hockey stole the show this week, securing back-to-back hat-trick wins against Newman and Manhattanville.
Against Newman, sophomore forward Donald Flynn put Newman in a hole with back-to-back goals in the first period.
Then it was junior forward Tyson Arujo who punched home the eventual game winner in the final seconds of the first period. Arujo notched an additional 2 goals in the second period to complete his hat trick.
Both Arujo and Flynn went +4 in the victory, where the Colonels outshot the Knights 33-30.
The next day against Manhattanville, sophomore forward Danny Rydell recorded a hat trick of his own.
Rydell opened up the scoring for Wilkes in the first period, to which the Valiants responded to tie the game at 1.
Before the period retired, though, the Colonels replied with one of their 3 power play goals of the evening when Flynn hit the back of the net with 7 seconds left.
After Manhattanville tied the game at 2, Arujo netted his first of 2 power play goals in the second period.
In the third period, Rydell notched his second goal of the night before Arujo followed it up with his second power play goal.
With the game tied at 5, the Colonels only needed 11 seconds in overtime to claim victory. With an assist from Tyler Barrow, Rydell found the net for his third and final goal.
Despite the success of on the men's side, the women's ice hockey team is currently on a 4-game losing streak.
With shutout losses against Utica and nationally ranked Elmira, the Colonels were only able to put up 1 goal on the board this week in their contest against Nazareth.
When Nazareth took the 1-0 lead, sophomore forward Shauna Tubbs answered back with an assist from Abigail Barkless at the 10:24 mark of the first frame.
However, this goal and career-high 68 saves in net for sophomore Allie Jolie were not enough for the Colonels to finish on top.
Off of the ice and onto the court, the men's volleyball team was successful against Brooklyn College with a 3-0 sweep. The Colonels also claimed a set against New Jersey City University in the following match.
Junior outside hitter Andrew Potter led the Colonels with 11 kills and 6 digs, while freshman setter Zach Shea had 21 assists. Freshman outside hitter Zach Evans also recorded 8 kills in the Colonel victory.
As for both Colonel basketball teams, the men were able to snag 1 victory against Misericordia, while the women found themselves on the short end of the stick for each of their 3 contests.
Against Misericordia, it was the lone Colonel seniors of Rob Pecorelli and Mark Mullins who led the way.
Pecorelli scored a game-high 23 points with 7 rebounds and 3 assists, while Mullins added 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 helpers. Sophomore forward Jake Robel rounded out the double-figure scores for Wilkes, posting 11 points.
However, following their conference victory against Misericordia, the Colonels were knocked out in the playoffs with a heartbreaking 73-71 loss to Kings.
After Patrick Galvin's foul line jumper put the Monarchs ahead at 73, the Colonels had a chance to tie at the foul line with 2.2 seconds remaining. With neither shot falling at the line, the Monarchs rebounded the ball and let the clock expire to knock the Colonels out of playoff contention.
On the women's side, the Colonels suffered a 56-point loss to DeSales before falling to neighbors Misericordia and Kings.
Against Kings, freshman guard Brenna Babcock recorded a season-high 17 points to go with her 4 rebounds. Fellow guard Caitlin Kinsel added 14 points.
As for this season, junior guard Maddie Kelly currently leads the Colonels with 8.7 points per game, ranking 13th in the conference. Freshman guard Macy Berryman is 7th in the MAC Freedom with 41 made 3-pointers on the season and is 2nd on the team with 7.9 points per game.
On the mat, the Colonels prepared for their final regular season contest against Kings. Their 41-6 loss against number 16 Ithaca College left only 2 Colonels victorious, despite serving as good preparation for the remainder of the season.
Senior Kyle Madreau put Wilkes on the board with a hard-fought 2-0 decision over Tito Colcom at 141. Madreau and Colcom went scoreless through 2 periods before Madreau chose top and added the stalling point to win.
After 5 straight extra point wins, junior Mustafa Al-Mekki put 3 more points on the board for Wilkes with a 6-2 decision at 197.
On Friday, Wilkes will take crosstown rival Kings at the Bart Center, honoring their seniors prior to the match.
As for Colonel Swimming, both the men's and women's teams traveled to York, Pennsylvania for the 4-day MAC championship meet.
On the men's side, Wilkes earned 6 podium finishes and 7 new program records, finishing 8th of 13 teams overall.
On the women's side, the Colonels earned 7 podium finishes and 9 new program records to finish 10th of 13 teams.
As for the Beacon's Athlete of the Week, on the men's side, it was basketball player Rob Pecorelli, and on the women's side, it's basketball player Gianna Roberts.
To check out this week's issue of The Beacon, go to www.thewilkesbeacon.com. That's all we have today for Sports Now. I'm Kirsten Peters.
And I'm Eric Bideman. We'll be right back after this public service announcement.
You doing okay, man?
Yeah, why?
You haven't been acting like yourself lately.
I don't know. These negative thoughts just keep gnawing at me.
I get it, man, and I'm here if you ever need to talk.
Thanks.
Mental health. It's not weird between friends. Learn more at bringchangetamind.org.
The policeman who caught us on drinking said, try Al-Anon family groups. Are you troubled by someone else's drinking? You might be surprised at what you could learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Hi y'all, I'm Ariel Reed. Right now outside, it's 42 degrees out and in fairly overcast skies. More about today, it's supposed to have a 90% chance of precipitation all day long today. We're looking at a high of 45 degrees and a low of 29. So just to expand more about the rain we're looking at, as you can see, there's rainstorms all up the East Coast. And as you can see in the northeast region of Pennsylvania, there is a slight chance of snow, but I do not believe we will have any snow today. And as you can see throughout the day around 10 o'clock, which is just about around now, a little later, there's still rain and it'll carry out through all day today. But it's only a light chance, so there's not a big amount of rain, but yet there is still a chance today. So just to talk about the rest of the week, for tomorrow we're looking at mostly sunny skies with a high of 37, low of 21. Thursday, partly sunny skies, high of 30, low of 13. Friday, it's looking to warm up a little bit more with sunny skies, high of 34, low of 21. Saturday is supposed to be even nicer than Friday with mostly sunny skies, high of 44, low of 28. Sunday, mostly sunny skies again, high of 48, low of 32. And Monday, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with a high of 45 and a low of 32. However, Monday, there is a small chance of rain, but again, I don't believe that'll actually happen. So looking ahead for the rest of the week, we're supposed to have rain all throughout today, and the weather is supposed to, though, get nicer throughout the rest of the week. I'm Ariel Reed with Weather Now. Back to y'all at the news desk.
That's all the time we have for today. Just a reminder, you can watch us live every Tuesday on Service Electric Channel 97 at 12 noon. Also check out our YouTube channel for episodes of the show and more.
And in case you missed it, our broadcast re-airs every weeknight at 7:30 p.m. I thank you very much for watching. From all of us here at Wilkes Now, have a great week.